To live comfortably, covering all basics. A few outings and modest savings in a mid-sized UK city.
Outing, a short trip, taken for pleasure or entertainment.
A household income of £60,000 to £70,000 annually is generally considered the baseline for a family of four.
The average rent in England has hit £1,423 a month. That's a 3.5% increase from last year. In Wales, it's roughly £900. In Scotland, it's around £1,100. And Northern Ireland is averaging £950. If you're eyeing up London, average rents have actually dipped slightly to £2,800.
Eyeing up is an informal phrase meaning to look closely at someone or something with intense interest or evaluation.
It's still the most expensive place to live, but for the first time in years, tenants actually have a tiny bit of room to negotiate.
Tenant, a person who pays rent for the use of land or a building.
Beyond rent, a single person in the UK typically faces these additional monthly costs. Utilities, gas, electric, water, about £180 to £240 for a small apartment. Council tax, about £120 to £200. Varies by local authority and property band.
Local authority, an official organisation that is responsible for governing an area of the country.
UK council tax bands A to H in England and Scotland, A to I in Wales. Determine your annual tax based on property value. Aimed at funding local services. Just 3 months ago, the experts told us the food crisis was finally over. Inflation was dropping, prices were stabilising, and we were promised a normal year. But in the last few weeks, that's all been flipped on its head.
Flipped on its head means to turn a concept, situation or argument completely upside down.
As of April 2026, the Food and Drink Federation has nearly tripled its inflation forecast, warning that we are heading for 9% or higher by the end of the year.
Did you know the average UK household now spends £119 a week?
Household, a group of people, often a family, who live together in a house or flat.
Just to keep the fridge full.
Grocery prices have stabilized but remain higher than in previous years.
Grocery is a shop that sells food and household supplies.
Single person, £250 to £350 per month. Family of four, £600 to £800 per month.
When the bill arrives, you realise you haven't just paid for a meal, but for the postcode.
Postcode, in Britain, a short series of letters and numbers that is part of an address, and shows exactly where a place is.
Eating out or ordering in the UK has become significantly more expensive over the last few years, due to inflation in food, energy, and labour costs.
Labour cost, the total expense incurred by employers to hire staff, covering wages, salaries, bonuses, and benefits.
Once you've finished your meal, you've still got to get home. And in the UK, that journey isn't always cheap.
If your commute is within a city, use the train or bus. A monthly pass is usually cheaper than petrol plus insurance plus parking.
Commute, a regular journey between work and home.
If you live in a commuter town and work in a city, you need a car to get to the station, but you take the train to work.
A commuter town is a residential area, often a town or village, where residents live but primarily travel to a nearby city for work.
In 2026, the gap between used electric vehicles and petrol cars has narrowed significantly. While used electric vehicles have depreciated faster in the past 3 years.
Depreciate, to cause something to lose value, especially over time.
This has created a unique buyer's market.
With over 119,000 public chargers now available across the UK. Charging at home remains the cheapest option at around 7 pence to 10 pence per kilowatt-hour using off-peak tariffs.
Tariff, list of prices for a service such as supplying gas or electricity.
Since we have a driveway, we can do smart charging and pay around 7 pence per kilowatt-hour off-peak.
Driveway, a private area in front of a house onto which you can drive and park your car. Off-peak, not at the most popular and expensive time.
Makes an electric vehicle roughly 85% cheaper to fuel than a petrol car. If you rely only on public rapid chargers, the savings vanish.
When it comes to your annual MOT, being an electric vehicle owner is actually a massive advantage. In the UK, the MOT check for an electric car is generally quicker and much simpler than for a petrol or diesel car.
The MOT check in the United Kingdom is an annual legal inspection for vehicles over 3 years old to ensure they meet minimum safety and environmental standards. It tests critical components including lights, brakes, tires, seatbelts, and emissions.
Tire, a thick rubber ring often filled with air that is fitted around the outer edge of the wheel of a vehicle. Emission, an amount of a substance that is produced and sent out into the air that is harmful to the environment.
But does not cover the engine, clutch, or gearbox. It is not a vehicle service.
Before you hit the road, there is one more hidden a yearly fee the UK government requires. And that's road tax, officially known as VED. Road tax is mandatory in England for vehicles used on public roads, based on vehicle age, fuel type, and emissions.
Mandatory, something that is mandatory must be done, or is demanded by law.
Most drivers will pay a £200 standard rate from the 1st of April, 2026.
A standard rate is the normal, base level cost, fee or percentage applied to services or taxes.
While cars over £40,000 when new incur a higher rate, up to £640.
Incur, to be made to lose money or have to pay a charge.